I have the honor to introduce a very special guest. We are lucky to have a governor who understands the value of the arts and humanities in building the social, educational, and economic vibrancy of our state. It is my pleasure to introduce the governor of the great state of Wyoming, Mr. Mark Gordon.
Michael, thank you. It's an honor to be here and taking your cue. I am sitting in my office, which is on the the southeast side of the Capitol. It's the traditional conference room for the governor's office before the refurbishment. And I'm flanked by the Wyoming and the U.S. flags. And I have my blue Cheyenne coffee cup next to me, and I'm coming to you in a white shirt and unfortunately much more gray hair than I would like to admit. But it's an honor to be here today and really to talk about the importance of the arts in Wyoming and how remarkable they are, really, right from not only the great potters and glass blowers and painters and sculptors and writers that are everywhere in Wyoming to those cowboys that would sit down with colored pencils and draw the pictures of the beautiful mountains, and maybe even just with a pencil draw an elk in its native habitat, and just remark on the beauty that God has given us here. I was fortunate to serve for a number of years on the UCross Foundation Board, Artist in Residence program, and I always remember my good friend Sharon Dynack pointing out that the founder of the UCross Foundation, Raymond Plank, always liked where it was, UCross, because it's a place where you have to decide. And Wyoming has really got that juncture coming in front of it. And it is so important that we understand not only our culture and the background that we bring, but also our future and what that brings to the artist expression. And let me just say that one of the other most profound things that Raymond, who had lots of different ways of expressing things, those of you who might have known him, some probably not quotable, but he always talked about why he liked UCross, which was out in the plains. We have beautiful mountains, of course, lovely streams, wonderful lakes, beautiful blue skies, but we have those plains. And Raymond was always remarking on how important it was to have people come to a place like UCross and just absorb a little of what Wyoming had to give them. And I really think of that as a remarkable moment because Raymond was in the oil and gas business. Former Governor Stan Hathaway was a very good friend of his, and Raymond built a Fortune 500 oil and gas company. But he also wanted to make sure that he gave back to the state. So he founded the Artist in Residence program because he wanted artists to be able to come together around a table and talk about the energy industry, the ranching industry, and to bring us together as a community. And that really is what we're talking about here. What is the community expression, and how do we best define what that means for Wyoming? And it is remarkable, especially at this time in the pandemic and in our nation's history, where there's so much potential for division, and yet we can all recognize those things that we find bring us together, whether it be a common shared experience of a conversation around a fire, telling a story, or whether we read that same story in a book, or whether that book is illustrated with pictures. We know we have a common cultural history, and it's really well well expressed in the arts. And we also have to recognize how exceptional it is that artists are given the freedom to express to express their interests, to express the ways to push our understanding of where we are. I think about it as a historian myself, and just the immense freedom that came with the first Russian Revolution. The art expression that came out of that, of optimism and view of the future, was extraordinary. Things like Cubism were first expressed during the Russian Revolution, well before they were even thought of really in France. And then we see as governments start to repress the arts and come to the proletarian type of style, how unfortunate that has been. And so when we're thinking about the glories that Wyoming has, the freedoms that we enjoy, and the opportunities that artists have to express themselves at this particular juncture in our time with the pandemic and with all of the diversity that we see, really it couldn't be more important for Wyoming to really double down on making sure that arts are well respected. It is wonderful that the National Endowment for the Arts recognize the importance. Arts have played such a role in our ability to weather difficult times, and now we actually have the opportunity to really think about our future and what it means. So Michael, the Wyoming Arts Council is front and center. Cultural resources, my good friend Sarah Needles has always been right front and center, talking about the importance that all of our communities bring to our common Wyoming art experience. And you just look at the expressions that we see all around the state, just to go back to think about even, the cowboy sitting by gas lamp, drawing the picture, to Lori Thal blowing that exquisite glass that she does, to some of the exceptional works of literature that have really been developed here in Wyoming. I'm so proud to have this opportunity to address you and to assure the arts community that this administration will continually support the artistic endeavor. So thank you very much.
Governor Gordon, thank you so much for joining us today and speaking with the arts community. It's been really great. I know it's been a busy last couple of weeks for you with so much going on in the world. One of our opening keynote speakers had said, one beauty about the arts is it's able to bring people together that come from different political backgrounds. And I think, if this week has shown us anything, that's something the arts can do to help strengthen our state for sure. So thank you again so much for joining us.